Yo, what's up, guys? We got some big fucking news. Probably one of the bigger skill position trades that I've seen in a while. Christian McCaffrey going to the 49ers. So I've been seeing a lot of like quick reactions from people on Twitter, from other fantasy analysts, from other YouTubers, or whatever. And it's pretty crazy. I mean, I'm seeing a pretty diverse array of like reactions, whether it's positive or negative sentiment toward it. I think my general sentiment is negative when it comes to Christian McCaffrey owners and Christian McCaffrey's productivity. I'm going to tell you guys exactly why I think that. And then we're also going to discuss kind of like the pros and cons, how it affects some of the other players on the Niners. And I'll, sprinkle in a little bit of Carolina Panthers at the end of it, if I remember. But anyway, let's just jump right on into it. And acute, like short-term impact. Adam Schefter said that he tweeted about 7 hours ago. He said that he's gonna that McCaffrey's gonna fly to San Francisco on Friday. He'll meet with his new teammates and start to learn the playbook. And he said that it's gonna be challenging for him to have him in uniform on Sunday versus the Chiefs. He then said that McCaffrey did go to Stanford, so anything's possible. I don't know why that matters. I guess he's smarter than everyone else, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's gonna play. If he does, it'll be. I also saw another report that it'll be like goal line packages. I think he shouldn't play. I hope he doesn't play. I'm playing against him in like one of my main leagues, so it'd be nice if he doesn't play. But in any case, that's the acute thing. He's probably going to start. He's probably going to have a full workload next week. So if you do have Jeff Wilson, you might be able to still start him this week. I personally wouldn't, but you could if you're in a pinch. But yeah, so this week it's looking iffy. Looks like he's going to play. His first game would be against the Rams next week, and his last game was against the Rams. So it's a cool little tidbit. So anyway, back to how this affects everyone else, right? So I'm going to share with you guys like the first most important thing that a lot of analysts are actually missing. They're all saying that the 49ers offense is so much more constructive, so much more productive for running backs. And it typically is. So it typically, in the sense of rushing style quarterbacks do profit. The Mosterts of the world, Tevin Coleman a few years ago, Jeff Wilson, Elijah Mitchell. These are guys that are like traditional rushing running backs with guys that are super fast. And that's what the 49ers are always looking for. Very fast between the tackles, guys that can turn the corner, get to the edge, and break off big runs. That's been like their MO for the last couple of seasons. And the most worrying stat to me that I saw is that the 49ers have only thrown 13 passes to their running backs on the season. Not just, in the last couple games, like the entire season. And just quickly looking at Christian McCaffrey's targets, he surpasses that in one game. In week 5, he had 12 targets. That's already more than the 49ers' entire year's offense. So that worries me. Are the 49ers going to change their entire offense and suddenly start to throw to running backs? I think you have to resort to saying no, they won't, right? So optimism, sure, yes, let's hope they do, but like the realistic option is to just assume they don't, right? And if they don't do that, you can argue that's like Christian McCaffrey's entire. I mean, he then becomes like an even worse version of Alvin Kamara, right? I mean, I have Alvin Kamara, and it's the same thing. They got him running between the tackles. They don't have him catching the ball as much as he used to, or at least it's not like really like designed catches or screenplays and stuff. It's really just like, oh shit, I'm in trouble, let me just dump it off. And I know Christian McCaffrey also accounts for some of that, but yeah, I don't know. That worries me. The fact that, the 49ers don't throw the running back worries me. Next thing, 49ers running backs are always injured. I don't know what it is, but they always get injured. I think my assumption is not that it's because of the coaching staff, it's because of the workloads, because none of the guys really have like super crazy workloads. I mean, Jeff Wilson, 18 carries a game. Elijah Mitchell wasn't getting like an incredible amount of carries, I believe. I mean, let's check that real quick. And if he was, then I'm wrong, but let's look at 2021. I mean, yeah, 27 carries a couple of these weeks, 21, 19, 17, 18, 18. Yeah, what is that, like a 21 attempt average? That's not that crazy. I think the real reason that the running backs keep getting injured is the fact that they got these like fast and small running backs, it's always like, or at least that's what it seems like. The speed, right? And speed, you tend to get injured. At least that, I don't know. From my understanding of sports, like the really quick twitch, really fast guys are just more prone to injury. That's just what I've always noticed. It's just what I've examined. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there, but yeah. So injuries are an issue. Let's talk about like what are the pros, right? So what are some of the things that Christian McCaffrey could see as like an uptrend? And I think the first thing is probably the fact that the Niners offense is more constructive and productive for running backs. They're going to get him better touches. So his volume might suffer. He might have way less volume, but I think he's going to get more of a qualitative type of workload rather than a quantitative one that he got with the Panthers. That's just my assumption. I don't think his targets and receptions are going to be anywhere close to what he was getting with the Panthers because the Niners do have pass catchers that are capable and competent. And yeah, that's my assumption. So I think that's a pro. He's going to get a lot more opportunities to score on a better offense, a better team that knows how to use the talent around, or a team that knows how to use the talent to the best of their abilities, right? And they put them into positions to actually do well. So that's kind of like the pro to Christian McCaffrey going to the Niners. So I think people can find solace in that, although they might not get that workload and the quantity that they were getting, I think they're going to get a lot more quality. So how does this affect Deebo Samuel? This is something that worries me. I have Deebo. I think we can expect, and we've already seen, less carries and less like short yardage stuff out of Deebo. This like wide back that they used to refer to him, especially over the offseason, that ended pretty quickly. So he quickly became like a normal wide receiver, which I like personally. I'd rather prefer Deebo being a wide receiver because most of us play in half PPR leagues or PPR leagues. So I want my guys to be getting a lot of receptions rather than rushes. Now, if he can get the occasional, swing pass or jet sweep for a rushing touchdown, I'm down. But yeah, we can expect even less short yardage stuff. And something that's concerning that we can expect less of from Deebo is kind of these like manufactured screen passes for Deebo. Like when the offense is struggling, they'll throw him a screen and see if he can like ignite the offense, bust off a big catch. And I know that that's a lot of what his big play potential is actually on the back of those like screen passes and those like broken plays that he just like beast modes, breaks tackles, goes full Deebo mode, and yeah, I'm just worried that that's not going to be there anymore. It still could be. I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, him and McCaffrey are now the two most talented players on the 49ers offense. I know a lot of you might say Kittle is up there too. For what Kittle does, definitely, absolutely, as like the best run blocker / receiving tight end, absolutely Kittle's up there too. You might even be better than both of these guys, but just from like a pass catching point of view, I think Deebo and McCaffrey are more like big play type dudes. Kittle's maybe a 1C. I don't know. I don't want to rustle any jimmies by saying that, but yeah. So I think less short yardage stuff. Deebo will become more of a traditional wide receiver, which I like. Hopefully, some more down the field passes for Deebo. That would be dope. I'd be super behind that. And then Aiyuk and Kittle, I'll lump these two guys together in terms of how they're going to be affected. So first of all, thinner secondaries, right? So they have an explosive, creative running back coming out of the backfield now. Potentially, that means thinner secondaries that they'll face in terms of the defenses that they'll see. That's the hope, at least. So let's see if teams have to bring up more to the line of scrimmage because there's now this dynamic back in the backfield who isn't just a between the tackles or a speed guy like they've had in the past. This guy that can, beach from anywhere on the field. So we'll see. That could be thinner secondaries for both Aiyuk and for Kittle. But on the other side of that, Kittle might have to be doing more run blocking, right? Because he's one of the best, if not the best, run blocking tight end I've ever seen. I don't know. I'm not that old, but I've never seen somebody as good as Kittle in that respect. So is he going to have to do more of that? I think so. I think they're gonna. I think the 49ers want to be a running team. So that's my expectation. I think overall negative for McCaffrey, less quantity, and perhaps more quality touches, more quality production. He might get more touchdowns, but McCaffrey was such a great fantasy asset because he had like a floor of, he's getting like 7 receptions for 60 yards, and he's going to get like 60 rushing yards and perhaps a touchdown in either of those categories. So that gave McCaffrey this amazing floor of like 15 fantasy points, where everything, above that is cake, or it's icing on top of the cake. It's, every touchdown he got on top of that was nice. Now I think he's going to be much more touchdown dependent, which is something that, in terms of like a fantasy asset, it makes for like a safer, better fantasy asset. I think any touchdown dependent player is somebody that just I am personally worried about having, like the Mike Evanses of the world. I mean, Mike Evans, not so much. I mean, he'll get the yardage and catches as well, but we see that when Chris Godwin's around, Mike Evans kind of becomes a little touchdown dependent. So was DeAndre Hopkins last season. So yeah, that's the news, guys. That's my take. Yeah, overall, a little bit worried for McCaffrey's production. We'll see what happens. We just have to wait and see, I guess. I think for this week, it's going to be the Deebo, Aiyuk, Kittle, and Wilson show. And then next week, I think it's going to be crazy to see what happens. And yeah, I hope this video helps you guys. Hope you, if you disagree, please let me know in the comments. I'm super down to banter. Follow me on Twitter. It's at PassOnFirst. Shoot me a follow. I'll follow back. We can banter. We can talk fantasy. We can do some live plays or live play-by-plays and stuff on Sundays. Anyway, take it easy, guys. Take care. See you in the next one.